Welcome back to Champion the Passion, a weekly pro wrestling podcast where we inspire you to champion your passions and celebrate the joy in what you love. I'm your host. My name is Victoria Daisy, and today we're going to be recapping everything that happened last night on AEW Dynamite Summer Blockbuster. But before we dive deeper, don't forget to leave a 5-star review if you enjoyed. Follow me at It's Victoria Daisy across all social platforms and follow Champion the Passion across all streaming platforms. But let's dive right into the action because the opening match was literally a pay-per-view caliber match. I swear. We had Will Ospreay versus Swerve Strickland. Now, this was an amazing match, okay? I don't want to spoil the ending, but you guys know I do a certain little thing when I start talking about my overall thoughts. I have a blank of the night, another blank of the night. If you guys have been here before, you kind of know the drill. So I won't fully spoil it, but just gonna have to stick around and find out. But this was such a phenomenal match. Anytime either of these guys are in a match, there is no such thing as low expectations because they always over deliver with their matches. And that's exactly what they did last night. And I loved all the spots. I felt like all of the moves that they did were just so good. Like, I think they worked so well together and it was like chef's kiss. It was like impeccable. But unfortunately, the match ended abruptly because they actually surpassed the 30-minute time limit that was on this match. And I got mad because I was like, bro, like this was going to be so good. But Swerve got on the mic to say that AEW is where the best wrestle, and Swerve and Ospreay are the best. But the only way to truly be the best is by finishing the match. And then he challenged him to sudden death. But before anything could even happen, before Ospreay could respond, before anything could happen, the Death Riders came out. And they surrounded the ring, getting ready to attack when the Young Bucks ran into the ring and attacked Swerve. They were super kicking left and right, and then they handcuffed freaking Swerve to the ropes. And the Bucks were just about to kick Swerve with their thumbtack sneakers. But then Ospreay ran in, not only for the save, but to take a bullet for Swerve. And he said that last week in their promo. He was like, I will take a bullet for you. I've known you for, I believe it was like 12 years, he said. And there's nothing he wouldn't do for him. And clearly he showed that last night because he literally took thumbtacks to his face so that Swerve wouldn't. And I'm just like, bro, oh my gosh. Cinema. Literal cinema. The next thing that happened was we had a match between Mystico and Blake Christian. Now, this was my first time seeing Blake Christian. He's actually from Ring of Honor, which I didn't know. And I wasn't sure what to expect in general because it's only my second time watching Mystico, and then like I said, it's my first time watching Blake Christian. But I honestly thought it was a really good match. They worked really well together and everything felt very clean and smooth. In the end though, Mystico won, and I do have to say I was very impressed and I'm very excited to see kind of what the future holds for Mystico. I feel like he has the potential to be a champion in AEW in the future, which I'm so excited for whenever that happens. And then the Hurt Syndicate came out, and I was like, oh shoot, here we go. So MJF got on the mic to continue, or excuse me, to keep his promise that he made last week to Mystico, where he said, if I think you did a good job in your match, then I'll give you a match against me. And so that's exactly what happened. He told him, he was like, listen, like for once, I'm actually going to admit that you did a pretty good job, and I will have this one-on-one match with you next week at Grand Slam Mexico. Then MJF said that he is an American hero. And then the most MJF thing happened. It was so dramatic, so extra, but I loved it. That's what makes him him. And so they start playing this like patriotic song, and then confetti pops, and it's like red, white, and blue. And then an American flag falls from the ceiling. And instead of the stars being on the flag, it was little MJF faces. And I thought it was so freaking funny. Like, I was actually cackling. But then Mystico did not find that funny because he snatched the mic from MJF and said, I'll see you in my home in Mexico. And then MJF replied and said, quote, you think you're such a big deal? You're just a sloppy Sin Cara. and then they fought each other. But I was gagged when he name dropped Sin Cara like that. I was like, bro, Sin Cara was part of my childhood. Like, there's so many fans nowadays that have no clue who Sin Cara is, and that really hurts my feelings. Like, actually, and for some reason, anytime I think of Sin Cara, I think of that WWE Scooby Doo movie. If you guys remember that from like way back when, iconic. Anyways, but then they're fighting each other, and so Speedball Mike Bailey and his entire gang come out for the save, and it was great. Then after that, of course, we love a little segue from a segment to a match. We had the Hurt Syndicate versus Speedball Mike Bailey and his gang. I'm gonna call him his gang because I don't remember the other two guys' names. I think one is Kevin Knight, but I don't remember the other guy's name. But it was a really great match. So much storytelling here, and it truly made it so much fun. And I just have to say, MJF is so funny in his matches. Like, it's not even like, it's funny that it's not funny, but it's not funny that it's funny, if that makes sense. Like, the way he interacts with the crowd, the way he is with his opponents in the ring, like, he just knows what to say, how to say it, when to say it, and he is just like literally the entire package. And that's why he's been a champion before, because he is him, he can do that. And obviously the match was just great. And of course, in the end, the Hurt Syndicate won, because who else was going to win? Then after that, we had a segment with Hangman Adam Page. But before Hangman could barely even make it down a quarter of the ramp, the Death Riders attacked him. So they brought him to the ring, they duct taped his mouth, and basically, like, low-key held him hostage for a minute. And then Moxley got on the mic to say that they need Hangman to focus because this is his time at All In Texas for the AEW World Championship, because for him it's do or die. He then said that he doesn't understand or like Hangman, and then he called him a millennial cowboy. And I was like, oh, okay, period. Then he said, quote, "For a long time, you've been searching high and low for something. I don't know what it is, but you've got exactly 4 weeks to find it. You have 4 weeks to step up and become the man everyone wants you to become. And if you're not prepared to do that, you can pack your bags and get out." And I was like, oh, shoot, lay down that law, period. I was a little gagged there for a second. And then Hangman tried to fight back, but the Death Riders were quick to lock him down. And then the ops came out for the save. And I was like, okay, let's go. We're cooking. We're doing something here. Something productive, right? And then Hangman got on the mic to say that he would do anything to win that championship, and that if he sees one of them again, he's coming for them. So that was pretty much that. Then after, we had a tag team match between Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford versus Ty J. And guys, I was so freaking excited for this match. Like, this honestly was probably my most anticipated match of the night. Like, being so dead serious. I love Ty Mello, okay? And to see her in the ring for the first time in over 2 years, I mean, it was honestly magical. Like, I'm such a big fan of her, and I freaking love her. And also, I am such a fan of the other women too. And I just thought that they collectively put on such a great match. I think they're all on fire in their careers, and it's clearly shining through in their matches. And they were just so fearless and just put on a great freaking match. Like, that's all I could say. Like, I loved it so much. And in the end, Ty J won because, of course, who the freak else? No, I'm kidding. Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford definitely had a great shot at winning this, but this was a must win for Ty J, because obviously Ty just returned and you needed to have that victory, and they got that on lockdown. To be honest though, this is probably a match I would have loved to see at All in Texas. I don't know if this is a feud maybe that we could be starting with the four of them. I think that would be really fun, and I'm assuming that we're going to kind of work towards that. Then after, we had a contract signing for Okada and Omega's winner take all match at All in Texas. Now, Tony Schiavone announced that the winner, whoever wins this match at All In Texas, will be crowned the inaugural AEW Unified Champion. That's right, you heard that right. No more Continental Championship, no more International Championship. Now it is just the AEW Unified Championship. He unveiled the championship last night, and holy crap, it is stunning. I mean, my jaw hit the floor, and I was like, this is such a beautiful championship. I think this is the last thing I expected, but I'm happy they're unifying those titles, because I'm just like, there just needs to be one. We don't need to have so many. So very happy about that. Then Okada signed the contract, but before Kenny did, he had some words. So he said, quote, 7 years almost to the day we had our last match. So when it comes to this match, let's leave it all in the ring. One final time for everything. And then he signed the contract. And I thought, okay, like look at us having a sweet little innocent contract signing. Nothing's going to happen surely, right? Well, I was wrong. Don Callis came out, our everyone's favorite person. Am I right? So he said Kenny should be ashamed of himself and that this match should involve Takeshita and Fletcher, which does it really need to involve them? I think not. But Omega was quickly interrupting him and he told him to shut up because he talks too much. So go off, Kenny. You really ate that one up. He said that he's been there, done that, beaten them, and told Don that he's not going to ruin this match. He said that the match is still going to be Okada versus Omega, winner take all at All in Texas, and Fletcher and Takeshita and Callis can't do anything about it. That's what he said. He laid down the law. And Kenny said that he knows all of Don's tricks. But then Don was like, well, you didn't know this one. And then Okada freaking hit him with the belt. My jaw hit the floor. I was like, what are we doing? That was insane. That I did not expect that. That was crazy. And then after, speaking of Kyle Fletcher, he actually had a match versus Anthony Bowens. Now, this was an insane match because I just have to say, Kyle Fletcher and Anthony Bowens are absolute stars, and they truly made this match everything that it was. I mean, they were doing such cool moves, and not 1 second was I bored. I mean, I need to see 20 more matches of them because there's some people that just have in-ring chemistry so well and they just have it in spades, and I feel like those two really had it. They were going at it and it was so good. But in the end, Kyle Fletcher did take that W after we had a match between timeless Toni Storm and Julia Hart. Also, side note, our TBS champion Mercedes Moné was ringside once again, feasting on her fancy schmancy dinner, which was hysterical. I mean, I love her. She's my queen. We know that. And this girl had an even bigger dinner than last week. And I was like, go off, queen. Like, you deserve it. You ate that up, literally. And but to the match was really good. I truly believe that Julia Hart is so underrated. Like, I don't feel like anybody freaking talks about her, and we need to talk about her more. And I was just so excited for her to be in this match with a great like Toni Storm because she was able to truly showcase her full potential. I feel like when you're in the ring with somebody who is below par, if you will, it's just a little harder to fully like show what you can do. But I feel like when you're facing somebody like Toni Storm, you have all of that space to just go at it. And so I really loved the match. There was so much storytelling and funny moments in the match that left me so entertained. But then in the end, Toni Storm won. But after, Mercedes got in the ring and whispered something into Toni's ear and then attacked her. And I was like, okay, what the hell is this girl whispering in her ear? And Renee Paquette interviewed Mercedes backstage later on in the show, and we still didn't get an answer. So I don't know if that's something we'll ever find out, but I digress. Then Mina came out for the save, but that didn't stop Mercedes from continuing to attack both of them. So that was that. It was a little chaotic, but it's okay. Then after we had a match between Tekla versus Queen Aminata. Now, this was practically, I think, my first time watching Tekla wrestle, first or second. And I don't really see Queen Aminata wrestle that much, but I just have to say on Tekla's part, I mean, she is so fierce and aggressive and quick with it. And I just thought that she worked so well with Queen Aminata, and both of them truly put on such a fun match. I really am loving Tekla though. I don't think AEW has a character kind of similar to Tekla, the toxic spider. I just think she's very unpredictable and I love that about her. And so I'm really excited to see kind of where they go with her for the rest of this year. And she won the match, which was great. And so I'm really hyped about her. Then the main event was the Don Callis family versus Paragon and Daniel Garcia. Now, this was the perfect match to put in the main event slot because of how freaking entertaining it was. I mean, when you have that many amazing wrestlers in the ring, it is bound to be chaotic, which is exactly what it was, but in the best way possible. And there were so many fun spots, and you can just tell that everyone in the crowd was really invested in what was going on in the ring. And even as someone watching from home, I can truly attest that I was just so immersed, and I was just like, This is amazing. But in the end, the Don Callis family did pick up the W, which I was really sad about because I do not like the Don Callis family. And I really wanted Paragon and Daniel Garcia to win, but that just didn't happen. But let's head into my overall thoughts. Overall, I thought it was a really great show. My match of the night was Will Ospreay versus Swerve Strickland. I mean, come on. What other match was it going to be? A really close second was the women's tag team match, the Megan Bayne, Penelope Ford, Ty J match. I really loved that one. But this one really took the cake for me, and I just can't find strong enough words to really describe how much I loved this match. I was just really disappointed that they surpassed the time limit with this one. So I'm hoping we can get another rematch or just get something, maybe something at All In, I think would be fun. And then my segment of the night was, of course, the contract signing for Okada and Omega's All In Texas winner takes all match. I really loved it, not only because the segment itself was really fire and the drama with Don Callis, but I also gained extra brownie points because we literally got a brand new title, and I am so hyped about it, excuse me. But in the end, I would rate the show about an 8.5 out of 10. AEW Dynamite is continuing to literally be on top. I love it so much. There's never a week where I'm like, that was a bad show, which is crazy. And I'm really, really loving AEW. Next week is AEW Grand Slam Mexico, which is going to be really fun. This week for Summer Blockbuster and last week for Friday Fest were 4-hour specials. I believe next week is going to just go back to 2 hours, which is great because I can't afford to stay up that late anymore. So, but thank you guys so much for watching and listening to this episode of Champion the Passion. Don't forget to leave a 5-star review if you enjoyed. Follow me at It's Victoria Daisy across all social platforms and follow Champion the Passion across all streaming platforms. Don't forget to champion your passions and celebrate the joy of what you love. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.